Um, so we have covered phone, computer, camera, and the last functionality. So what makes a smartphone a mobile phone? Okay. So what do you mean by mobility? I've written something here as mobility. What do you mean by mobility?
Maybe portability.
Portability. Okay. See, I ask questions, right? I ask all our English words, so nothing is technical. So we use all these English words in technology. Okay. So if you just search dictionary online or app or something, right? So mobility is, let's say, ability to move. Okay, that's what it means. So mobile phone means the user or the phone, it has the ability to move, but it still should function as a phone. It has to still do its job. Okay, so you can compare this with our previous, let's say, landlines, which are the fixed phones. They were also phones, but they were fixed. So we are talking about mobility. That means the bigger thing is it is able to move. So when we are talking about movement, we have to see how does it work, right? How are we connected even when we are moving? So this is a very simple image to explain you that. So like how I told you, there are no wires. So it has to be a wired, sorry, it has to be a wireless connection because it is not wired. So look at this very simple image. Okay, this is one tower where there is a user. So cell one means user equipment one or the user. So it could be any of you. You are connected to this this cell network. Okay, you are on a voice call with someone. And what happens? You are traveling. Maybe you are traveling by car, bike, you are walking. So you slowly started moving. This tower has this much of area that it covers for communication. So beyond this, this tower has no control. But you are here, you started your communication, you're talking to someone, you are moving. You're slowly moving and you are moving outside this blue circle. Okay. And then you have entered this blue circle. Okay. These two could be overlapping, but let's say you have moved this completely outside this and you're completely inside this. Now, if your call has to be still connected, it has to, this cell phone tower has to do something called as handover. You see here, handover. That means it has to hand over your communication from this tower to this tower. If it does not hand over, then your call will drop. Because you have moved outside this area, that means this tower cannot see, the call will drop. So there has to be something called as handover that it has to happen. So now, if you see this chart, if you see this graph, what it says that over the time, okay, this is the link quality. Link means your communication quality. Okay, that means your connection should be good. It should not drop. You should be able to hear the other person. There should not be noise and all that. That's what is link quality. So if you see here, as over the time the user is moving, right, the link quality is reducing. Okay, link quality is reducing, and link quality from the other cell phone, other tower, this tower is getting better, right? That is this blue, that is getting better because you are moving towards that tower. Now there is a certain sweet spot. Okay, there is a certain sweet spot called as a handover margin. That means there is certain sweet spot where the cell phone, that specification is already set, and they say that okay, this link quality is minimum that is required. And once that margin is crossed, right, what happens is you will be transferred from this base station or this tower to this tower. So this is called as handover. Okay, so you may ask me what happens here. Here there is overlapping, right? This blue circle and this blue circle overlap. So what about here? So interestingly, when you are here, you may be connected to both the towers simultaneously. Okay, you will be connected to both the towers, and both are continuously monitoring the link quality. That means your cell one or the tower one is monitoring your quality, signal quality, and the tower two is also monitoring the tower signal quality in this location, in this area, in this common area. And once this link quality becomes worse and this gets better after certain margin, you will completely switch from here to here. Is this clear? That's how that mobility is accomplished. So it's important that the call should not drop, right? Call should not drop. Should still be able to connect. Okay. Now, call is one thing. I said that mobility, phone call is a very basic functionality, but only doing that is not sufficient, right? We need other things also. What about location? What about GPS and maps, right? So we know that what is the full form of GPS?
Global positioning
Global
system.
positioning system.
Okay. Again, right? If you just look at the English meaning, that means we are talking about positioning. It's a system which tells you where you are located globally, what is your position on the global scale. Right? That's what it does. It's a system which tells you on a globe where you are. So if you look at GPS system, so I'm sure almost all the smartphones today have GPS on their phone. And obviously, if you just have a GPS, that is not sufficient. You also need maps for that, right? Because I need to know, because GPS will give you some coordinates, some numbers which common man cannot understand, right? Numbers we cannot understand. So that does not tell me where I am. So obviously you need a layer of maps. So on the map, I need that GPS to point saying that I am here. So GPS that you have in your phone is a simple receiver system. Okay, it's only a receiver. So where is the transmitter? So who is transmitting that information of where you are? Who is doing that?
Satellite.
Satellite, correct. So there is a GPS satellite, and it's not one satellite. It's an array of satellites. So there are multiple satellites, which is GPS is basically an American technology. So we have an equivalent in India also. Can you tell me what that is?
Navik.
Correct, Navik. So India decided that we need to have our own system of satellites, right, similar to GPS, because what happens is, so imagine that today location has become so important that during a conflict, you can, what if US decides to block your location information? What if they shut off the satellites which are looking at India? Can you imagine how problematic can that be? Can you imagine? So forget about us, who are using mobile phones for traveling or for knowing or sharing information about our location, all that. Think of all the military, think of all the communication equipment, right? So the towers, right, the cell phone towers work using GPS. Do you know that? To get the precise timing, right? You take your phone, you see the time on the phone, right? All the phones will show the same time, and that precise timing comes from GPS. Okay, think if US shuts off GPS, we cannot even know our own timing information or our location information. So our entire cell phone infrastructure will fail. Okay, and defense will have bigger problems. They don't know where their missiles, satellites, their army, or whatever the equipment is, right? Everything will be under trouble. So that's why we need to have our own navigation system, own global positioning system.
Whether Gmap is using GPS, like that, any app is there for using Navic?
I don't know. I don't think so. Anybody is using Navic yet.
Okay.
Because there are two things. So Navic frequency, right? That's not same. So GPS frequency is somewhere around, I think, 1.4 some gigahertz or something. So Navic is using a slightly different frequency. So at a hardware level, right? Phones nowadays, the phones are coming. I think from past 1 or 2 years, Qualcomm has started. So the chip, right? The chip that goes into the phone should also have that Navic frequency. So that phones were not there before. Now, Indian government has made it mandatory, saying that any phone that you release in India, I think Navic is called L5 or L5 band or something like that. So it has to compulsorily have Navic frequency in your phone. So now they are making it mandatory. At least from the hardware, they're making it mandatory. Now I think it is up to us to design some app or something to use that frequency. I don't think so anyone has shown much interest in developing some application using Navic.
Okay.
Is commercially used.
Yes, company, no?
Huh?
Okay. But still, their L5 bandwidth they are using.
Yes, correct. So now it is mandatory. I think any new phone you buy, right, you should have Navic on you.
Okay.
I also think there is a Navic map. I'm not very sure. I remember reading it.
Yeah, it may be there. I mean, see, until unless we make it popular, right? Nobody will use it. Today, GPS is today Google Maps is so common, right? We don't even realize. We just click on the icon and we use the map. It should be like that. Okay. So then, once you do so coming back to the original point, right? So I was talking about mobility. So mobility is not only about making phone calls when you're moving, but also about saying that okay, I should know where I am, and identifying the location. And then other important thing is sensors. So you made a call while you're moving, you know where you are, and your phone when you're moving, you should also have a lot of other sensors to know that you're moving. So for example, proximity sensor, that means you're keeping the phone close to your ears. See, the phone is moving, right? Phone is moving, you're keeping close to your ears. You want the display to shut off, turn off. Why? Because it will save power. That means your battery life will be longer. So if I take the phone, when I'm in a call, it should be like this, right? It should be like this. The display should be off. So for example, your proximity sensor will help you. Then there is ambient light sensor. Then there is GPS sensor. Then there is an accelerometer. That means it will tell you if you're moving. Let's say you are running, and you want to calculate how many steps I have taken in a day. What is my running speed, right? So GPS will only tell you location, but accelerometer will calculate and tell you, okay, how many steps you have taken. So then there are apps which will use that information from accelerometer, and it will tell you, okay, you have moved this many steps, or your phone is moving, right? All those things you will know. Okay, then there is humidity sensor, microphone, touch sensor, gyroscope, magnetometer, fingerprint sensor. So many of the phones also come with the fingerprint which it can identify, right? So all this has to be done. All this has to be done when you're moving. So you're not sitting in one location. You're not connecting to some wire cable and trying to do something. You're moving, and all these things should work, right? So so mobility encompasses all these things. Okay, so slowly, and your time is less. Let's continue quickly. So finally, so this is my slide where I'm summarizing everything. So you have a smartphone. You're looking at 4 high-level functionalities as a phone, as a computer, as a camera, and as a mobility device. Okay, mobility is the key thing which makes it a mobile phone. Okay, so this is the summary slide. So, and remember that everywhere where I'm showing you some pictures, there is an inherent software. It could be the processing software, or it could be an operating system, or it could be an app that is developed. Everything is behind the scenes. This is about the company. So DTRI, so we are based in Mysore in Karnataka. So we are an upskill company. So we have been training students in areas of embedded systems, IoT, and 5G technologies. So when it comes to fresh engineers, we train and place them in core engineering companies, because we want students to go in core engineering areas and not only in IT companies. So that is other thing. That is our focus. And we also offer certification programs and practical learning, not only to fresher engineers. We also do a lot of corporate training. So we have done for TCS, Bosch, ZF, Airtel, and many such companies, L&T, many such companies. We have done corporate training programs also on all these technologies. So you can visit our website. You can get more details about what we do, and I have given the contact number here also. You can contact our company through this number. You can send WhatsApp messages, and you can also visit YouTube channel. You can communicate. You can ask questions. Then you can also write email to us.